Which car dealership fees should you be avoiding when buying a car? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Help Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. Buying a car from a dealership can definitely be a pretty stressful experience, and figuring out what fees you should or should not be paying when hammering down a deal with the dealer is definitely one of the more complicated parts of the process. In my experience, putting together deals on behalf of my clients, it's not uncommon for a dealer to throw in around half a dozen or more various fees or charges. Figuring out what all these different dealer fees are for and whether you should even be paying for them or not can definitely be pretty complicated. So in this video, I'm going to go through the top 10 dealer fees that you should be avoiding when buying a car. Let's start with number 10, the dealer admin fee. Admin fees, also known as administration or documentation fees, are a very common charge that a lot of dealerships will include on a purchase agreement when buying a car. Admin fees can vary anywhere from $299 upwards of $999 depending on the dealership. The reason the salesperson will give you as to why they need to charge you an admin fee can vary from dealer to dealer. The bottom line though is that this is not a mandatory fee that every single dealership has to charge, and you can find a lot of dealerships out there that don't have any kind of admin or documentation fee on their deals. So if you're buying a car and you see an admin fee on your contract, then just ask the dealership to remove it. If they tell you that they can't remove it because it's standard policy or they give you some kind of excuse, then tell them that you want an additional discount off the price of the car to offset the price of that admin fee. Let's move on to dealer fee number 9, which is the etching fee. Now, like admin fees, etching fees, also known as anti-theft fees, are a very common charge that a lot of dealerships will try to include on a deal. Dealers can charge anywhere from $199 upwards of $499 depending on what they claim to be offering you. I've seen all kinds of explanations from dealers as to what etching or anti-theft protection is, but the gist of it is that they etch the VIN number of the car onto the glass all the way around the vehicle, which serves as the anti-theft deterrent for thieves if the car ever gets stolen, and it makes the car easier to retrieve. Now, I honestly don't believe that etching does anything at all because number one, thieves are always one step ahead. They know that etching exists and they know what to do if they steal a car that has window etching. And even if etching or anti-theft protection had value, there's no reason to pay upwards of $500 for it from the dealership. You could always just buy your own kit online and do it yourself for around $20 or $30. So if a dealership tries to sell you on etching or you see it on the contract of the car, just tell the dealership to remove that fee. Again, if they tell you that they cannot remove it because the work has already been done or they automatically include it on every single car that they sell, just tell the dealer to give you an additional discount to offset the price of that fee. Moving on to dealer fee number 8, environmental fees. Now this is a fee that I come across in at least 90% of the deals that I look at, and it has various different names, including an environmental fee, a tire stewardship fee, or a tire tax. The good thing about this fee is that it usually does not cost a lot of money. Most dealerships in my experience will charge anywhere from $20 to $50 for this fee, but again, it's a fee that you should not be paying for because it is not a mandatory charge in most areas. Some dealerships will tell you that this is a mandatory government charge that has to be paid and they cannot remove it from the deal. But in many areas, that is just not the case. There is no such thing as a government environmental levy or tire levy, so if they try to sell you on that, just tell them you are not paying that fee and to remove it from the contract. Moving on to dealer fee number 7, gap insurance. Now again, gap insurance is another dealer charge that I often see on a lot of different car deals, and dealers can charge upwards of a few $100s for it. What gap insurance basically is protection against diminished value and negative equity on a car deal. When you buy a car and it depreciates over time, sometimes the value of the car can be lower than what you owe on the car. So gap insurance is intended to compensate you for that price difference if you were to get into an accident or something were to happen to the car. Now, although negative equity is definitely a real concern, there are better ways to protect yourself from it when financing a car. Instead of getting an extended car loan for say a 7 to 8 year period and getting gap insurance, it makes a lot more sense to pay off the car as quickly as possible. Try to get a car loan for a 3 to 5 year period at the most so that you can pay off the car and keep the value of the car higher than what you owe on the loan. Okay, let's move on to dealer fee number 6, which is the financing fee. Now on some deals I prepared, I've seen dealerships charge a standalone financing fee, which can be anywhere from $100 to $300. Now I'm not exactly sure why some dealerships charge this financing fee because the majority of car deals do not have any kind of a financing fee if you decide to take out a car loan. In many cases, it's actually in the best interest of the dealership for you to finance the car because the dealer is going to be compensated from the lender in the form of a kickback because you took out a car loan with them. That's why in some cases you will see some used car dealerships that'll push financing on you even when you want to pay for a car in cash. If you're financing a used car and you don't want to pay any unnecessary financing fees or rely on what the dealership is offering you, it's a good idea to shop around and find your own financing through a bank ahead of time with the lowest interest rate and best offer that you can find. Next up, let's move on to dealer fee number 5, which is the delivery or destination fee. Delivery and destination, also known as freight and PDI, is a standard charge that you typically see on every single new car deal. Delivery fees can range anywhere from $1,500 upwards of $2,200 depending on the new car that you're purchasing. Now, it's important to understand that delivery fees are a standard mandatory charge that do come on the majority of new cars with a few small exceptions. There are situations, however, where you should not be paying any kind of delivery or freight and PDI fee, and this applies to demo cars and used cars. Both demos and used cars have already absorbed the delivery and destination fee, so there's no reason that you should be paying for them a second time around when you are buying that car. So if you're buying, say, a lightly used demo car from a new car dealership and you see that they're trying to charge you a delivery and destination fee, tell the dealership that you want that fee removed from the deal. Okay, let's move on to fee number 4, which is the nitrogen fee. Now, this is one of my favorite fees that I see on a lot of new car deals because it just makes me laugh with how ridiculous it really is. Nitrogen fees, also sometimes called nitro packages, is when the dealer inflates the tires of the car with 100% nitrogen air. The supposed claimed benefit of this is that it helps maintain the same consistent tire pressure in your car's tires even when you have huge temperature changes in the weather. Now, I honestly don't buy that argument at all because regular air is already almost 80% nitrogen. So I'm not really sure what you're getting by adding just a little bit more nitrogen in your tires. I've seen some dealerships charge upwards of $600 for nitrogen packages, which is absolutely ridiculous. So if you see that fee on a dealer contract, make sure you tell the dealership to remove it. Moving on to dealer fee number 3, wheel locks. Now, wheel locks are very common on a lot of new car deals, and dealers can charge upwards of $150 for them on the vehicle contract. They basically act as a small theft deterrent, giving you a lockable nut on each one of your wheels and helping to prevent wheel theft. Now, I honestly don't believe it's worth it to pay upwards of $150 for wheel locks for most regular cars because, number 1, wheels don't often get stolen on cars, so the risk is very low, and number 2, wheel locks can be a total pain in the neck for both dealers and mechanics whenever you need to do wheel changes. It's very common for the key to wheel locks to go missing if you don't store it in a safe place, and if that happens, taking the wheels off the car becomes a total pain in the neck. It's honestly just one more thing to worry about, and I'd rather not have them at all, especially for a regular car with just normal wheels. So if the dealership is trying to sell you on wheel locks and you see them on the purchase agreement for the car, just tell the dealership no thanks. If you decided that you see value in having wheel locks, especially for higher end cars with more expensive wheels, you could always buy a wheel lock kit yourself for only $40 or $50. Let's move on to fee number 2, which is certification or inspection fees. Now, certification fees are a common fee that I see on a lot of used car deals, and I've seen some dealers charge upwards of $899 for them. When asked what this is, many dealers will tell you that this is a fee to recondition the car to sell it to you in safe condition. Now, in my mind, the cost of reconditioning and safetying a car should already be included in the car's asking price. I mean, if I'm buying a used car, I want to know that it's already in safe condition, and you really shouldn't have to be paying extra for that. In many locations, used cars already need to be safetied and reconditioned in order to be sold, so all of the cost of that should already be included in the advertised price. So if you're buying any kind of a used car and the dealership is advertising the car as already safetied or certified, but then they go and try and charge you any kind of a reconditioning or certification fee later on, just tell the dealership that you are not paying that and you want all of that to already be included in the price. Okay, and now we come to our final fee, dealer fee number 10, which are protection fees. Now, the term protection fee alone is pretty vague, but this can include a number of different things depending on the dealership and the car, and I've seen all kinds of various forms of protection charges that have been added to car deals. Some of the most common types of protection charges that I've seen on car deals include key fob protection, wheel and tire protection, interior or exterior paint protection. Depending on what the level of protection is or what the dealership claims to be offering you, it's not uncommon for some of these packages to cost upwards of $1,000 or more, depending on the car and the dealer. Now, without doing any research or knowing more about these products, I would not recommend spending over $1,000 on any of them. Instead, tell the dealership that you would like to go home, do some research, and instead make an informed decision later on. I have definitely seen some car buyers buy some of these protection fees, including wheel and tire protection or key fob protection, and then got no value out of it because they never made use of it during their ownership period. So it's important that you do your own research on a lot of these protection products, determine whether they're going to have value to you, whether you're going to make use out of it, and then make an informed decision later on. Sad to say, the 10 dealer fees that I went through in this video are definitely not the only type of dealer fees that can exist out there, and it's definitely possible for some dealerships to come up with other types of fees and charges. In my experience doing car deals, however, these are the 10 most common fees that you're likely to encounter when buying a new car or a used car from a dealership. So if you would come across any of these fees, now you're going to know what to do. Let me know what you thought of this video, and if you have any ideas or suggestions for future car advice videos or car comparisons, please leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and if you want to check out some of my similar car advice videos, you can check out these links right over here. And if you need any additional car advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.